quiet.
I think it's showing live now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session on creativity and well-being. We're really happy that you could join us today. My name is Marie, and I work in De Montfort University's news and social media team. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can stay creative during lockdown, and we're hopefully going to be sharing some creative activities for you to get involved with at home. We're joined by one of our lecturers and two of our students from across the Faculty of Arts, Design and Humanities. I don't want to steal their thunder, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a bit. But it's safe to say that they'll be talking about their own experiences and sharing some of their tips and ideas for staying creative at home. The way that the session is going to be structured is that we're going to have a little informal chat first, and then at the end, there's going to be some time for us to answer some of your questions. So if you have burning questions about the discussion that we're having or just generally about studying at DMU, please drop us a comment and we'll try to answer them. So let's get started with a few introductions. I'm going to go to Jamie first. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at DMU, please, Jamie.
Well, hi, I'm Jamie Scott. I'm an artist, a painter, a fine artist generally. I've been a senior lecturer there now for a long time, since I started there in '99 working on the foundation course, which was a brilliant start to working in an art school, and worked there for 8 years, and now then moved on to working on the fine art course, and I work with all undergraduates, BA and postgraduates as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic, that's you in a nutshell. How about yourself, Same? Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at DMU?
Yes, hi, my name is Same and I am studying architecture and I'm in my third year now. And in DMU, I do a variety of activities like volunteering, art and craft, and DMU proposals, such as lots of things I do.
Oh, fantastic. It's really nice to hear that you've got yourself fully involved in the DMU community as well as your studies. Yes. And last but not least, Barnaby, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yes, so as you said, my name is Barnaby. I'm studying drama. I'm in my third year, so I've done a few different things. I've done like a placement at Curve and things. I've been on a few DMU global trips, which have been great. And now I'm just finishing my final few assessments.
Fantastic. Thank you, Barnaby. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully we'll get to know you a little bit more throughout the duration of this stream. But I thought maybe we could get kick-started just talking a little bit about the importance of creativity for well-being. So Jamie, can you tell us a little bit about why you think art is linked to good mental health?
Well, I think, I mean, let's be about right here. Art can drive you crazy, and it can really be frustrating when you're trying to get things done and they're not quite working, and she's like, oh wow. But I think that generally it keeps your mind ticking. It keeps you kind of like thinking, and it keeps you being creative and problem solving and things like this. A lot of people sort of like talk about, or keep your mind active and things, do puzzles and stuff like that. They've got like simple outcomes there, the solution to them. And with art, it's kind of very much about your own kind of solutions to problems that you are deciding what it is that you want to work on. So I think that it's great that if you're involved in kind of making things or doing things, you're kind of setting your kind of goals about what it is that you want to achieve, and being surprised along the way as well, and rejigging it and thinking, oh no, kicking it into this. So I think the whole thing of making work is about you have task, you have a focus, make, and you make the rules. You know, you can be flexible about the way that you want things to go. So I think that's kind of in a bit of a nutshell. That's about what it is that you could do. But then there's different kinds of art as well. I mean, I find that I like knitting, for instance, and so there's craft-based things that you can certainly do, which you can switch off a little bit more to, but still are involved in a kind of sense of creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. Art is quite subjective, really, in terms of how you want to define it and how seriously you take it. Yeah, and what you get out of it. So it's a big umbrella, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about yourself, Same? Are you finding that sort of staying creative has been good for your mental health in this kind of lockdown situation we're in?
Yes, I absolutely agree that art is really important to stay aware of your situation and to be to be in good well-being, because as Jamie mentioned before, art is depends on how you take it. Art just doesn't mean drawings or painting. You can see art in everywhere. Like, for example, I spend my time cooking, like trying new recipe and stuff like that. So it's you're creating the art. Like it's something you're doing, something you enjoy doing, and when there's a result at the end, you get a good cuisine at the end. So that's kind of creativity. And also if you like gardening, that's also an art I see there, because you are growing something, like watering. They are all art. And I think when you're doing something that you enjoy, like creativity and art stuff, it makes your brain think. So for example, during lockdown, if you're not doing anything, you might be thinking what's going to happen, when this lockdown going to end, stuff like you've got a lot of thinking and stress and pressure in your mind. But when you're doing something creative, your brain is thinking about that activity that you're doing, and it helps you to think positive, and it makes you realize what kinds of thing you can do. Like if you're good at activity like art and craft, if you're good at doing like cooking, stuff like that. So it makes you realize what kinds of thing you can do. Like it makes you realize your talent as well. So I think it's really important, and it's really good for mental health.
Oh, I love that, Same. I love how you've touched upon what we're going to cover this a bit later as well, but how even like day-to-day things can become creative and artful, and really important to kind of take that time for ourselves. And how about yourself, Barnaby? What are you finding that creativity is kind of helping you through at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. For me, I've been blocking out the news and things. I can't really think about everything that's going on because we don't know what's going to happen. So people debating about whether we're going to come out in lockdown in 3 weeks' time or however long, like that's too much for me to deal with. So art has very much been my way of kind of almost having different goals. But I completely agree with like Same that it is the day-to-day things. Like I think a lot of the time when we think about art, we think we have to make like the most profound maybe TV show or like a painting or something, but actually it could just be something as simple as trying different makeup routines or different looks. That's something which I've been doing because I've really got into it the past year. So lockdown's been a great opportunity for me to kind of just really build those skills. I learned how to pluck my own eyebrows the other week, so just building up these different skills. But they're just little things which are day to day, which like you may not value them or think that it's a big thing that you're doing, but you do. It just gives you that sense of achievement, and it could even be like making an Instagram post or a TikTok. I know a lot of my friends and myself have got into TikToks recently. I was one of those people where I was like, oh, I'm not going to get into TikTok. I'm not going to download it. It's too childish. Like, I didn't understand it. I didn't want to understand it. But then eventually I got into it because luckily for my dissertation, I'm now making lots of sort of YouTube videos or like TikToks, different versions of art. So I kind of had to do it. But actually, these little creative outputs, which you might not think are again, the most profound thing, are going to make a difference. It's an opportunity for other people to connect with you, and just because you're sharing your own personality. And I think it's just a really nice thing to do in lockdown, and to still feel normal.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, Barnaby. And I think resisting TikTok is futile. It's just everywhere, and it's good fun. I don't have my own account, but I do watch a lot of stuff on there. And I really like what you kind of said and touched upon, how there's kind of being creative, and it kind of goes hand in hand with learning new skills and picking up new things. And that's also a way of kind of keeping yourself active and your mind busy and happy. So we will definitely go through a lot of these ideas and things in a bit more detail in a bit. But I just wanted to ask Jamie first, because Jamie and I had a conversation not so long ago about some kind of fun creative activities that people could try from home. And do you want to share some of those with me, Jamie? Because you came up with some really good ones.
Oh, thanks. Well, I think the drawing ones. I think for students or anybody really, but particularly for people who are art students, is to keep a sketchbook going and keep drawing and looking at stuff and thinking about things. And one of the things that we do with the students in the first year in the drawing program is to get them to realise that drawing's not all just about getting it all dead right and stuff like that, everything in proportion, whatever. But it's about kind of drawing your responses to what you're looking at, what you think is important and stuff. And so little like quick things that people could do and share on media. I'm not in TikTok, so I don't know what that is, but I know that it's kind of like, I'm sure you could do it on there, but it's like start drawing on a sketchbook or a piece of paper or something like that. You could be looking at a friend, if you've got like a lockdown friend, or you could be looking at the telly or looking outside or drawing your feet or whatever. And but you're not allowed to look at what you draw on your paper. You've got to do it for 5 minutes, so set a little timer, and you've got to kind of like hide the drawing. So there's your book. Say this is your book, and you draw not without looking at what you're actually doing, and just 5 minutes. Keep looking at what it is that you're doing. Go over it again. And try not to take your pencil or pen or whatever it is that you're drawing with off the paper. 5 minutes, and then bing, when the time goes, have a look, and you'll be amazed at some of the things and the way, like crazy drawing. Have you had a go at it, Maria?
I haven't yet, but I am going to. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I'm really terrible. I'm not very artistic, but I think it's a great exercise to just have a bit of fun with.
Well, that's the first one. When we're doing it with the first years, we'll say, right, okay. Of course, you're in with a life model there, but you could do it without a life model. You like to just draw anything. First one is like, do it with your left hand, or your non-good hand, if you like. Draw with your left hand, draw with your right hand, do your two hands together, That's a good one as well. So you've got like 3 drawings there that you could be doing and sharing, and take it off and then invent things around doing from that, turn them into sculptures with wire and all sorts of things. We can make some amazing things from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you also kind of told me about your 10 random objects from around the house, and also about creating the photographic alphabet ideas, which just sound a lot of fun. Do you want to tell us a little bit about those two as well?
Just looking in my thing. Right, well, the lampshade. If I took a picture of that lampshade up there, right?
Yeah.
That could be a letter T. I can definitely see an O in there, but so just randomly going round your house and finding a lockdown alphabet. That'd be quite good. So, obviously a cup is an easy one, because that could be an O, all sorts, and the glasses could be a number 8 or something there, number 8.
Or a B.
Or a B,
Or a
yeah.
B.
Yeah. Just picking things apart from so there's an I. So, you can, and then you could kind of like put them together, make your name up out of them or whatever, and send messages to people with them, and
I love the idea of just taking these random objects and kind of writing a message to somebody about it, and like, taking a picture and sending it to someone and making them guess what you're trying to tell them. And I'm also really relieved that your cup was empty when you were showing it to us. Which was really
very easy to pick up coffee stains,
And I really liked the kind of abstract idea that you said as well to me about gathering 10 random objects from around your house, making them into some kind of person or creature, and just having to think about what is it telling you. It's so abstract. I just think, it's just a bit of fun, and you could really create something quite amazing with that.
You can make a whole world with them, or make buddies. If you're on your own, then you can talk to your crazy objects, I'm not sure about helping your mental health, but I think it's good fun to do. To be honest, that was kind of like inspired by one of our third years who from a few years, she graduated a couple of years ago. You might have seen she had a show in the shop front. I don't know if you think, with like objects that were all precariously balanced on each other and things like that. And she was kind of like making these kind of strange things which she gave a character to. And, but
I like it.
Could be good.
I like it. And for anybody watching who is kind of interested in this kind of thing, I know that a lot of our fine art students are on Instagram. I think the account is at creatives_in_quarantine, and they're sharing a lot of their work at the moment. So there's some really good stuff on there for inspiration, and so check it out if you're interested. Same, if I can come to you and just ask you how you're staying creative in lockdown. I know you've already touched on a few things, but feel free to please share some of what you've been doing to stay well and feeling productive and creative.
Yeah, for me, I've been doing a lot of things. I don't even know where to start. But firstly, Jamie just said the creative activity that you can do with the furniture in the house. I definitely gonna try that. It's really interesting. And also the sketches. I definitely doing sketches because it's good not only for my cause but also to kill time as well. And also and because I think while we're at the uni, while we're going to work, we can't find time to find out new skills. But I think this is a good opportunity while you're at home to find out what you can do and new activity. So firstly, I always wanted to learn how to cut hair. So I watched lots of YouTube videos, and then I cut my hair like French hair. So that's one of the activity I did for the first time. It was really enjoying. You cut your own hair, and then it's good to have fun with while you're at home. And also I've been doing art and craft. I have some little flowers that I made. I really I enjoy doing them. So like there's little flowers, the paper that you can make them. So you can literally type in YouTube like how to make paper flowers, and they're really easy and very easy ingredients, like just the papers and some glue stick, and you can decorate your home with them. And also I've been doing like jigsaw puzzle as well, because I think it's really good activity to kill your time. And also I mentioned about cooking, so that's the one thing that I've been doing a lot, because while you're going to uni, I don't have much time to try new recipe, but now I've literally typed in Italian recipe, Indian recipe, everything, and I'm trying to come up with a lot of cooking style. So that's also one of the things I've been doing at home. And I've been doing some other stuff like architecture model as well, because I'm doing architecture, and I thought it would be great if I actually have some here, like something to play with, and like these papers and very easy materials. So yeah, I've been doing lots of things actually.
I really love the variety of what you're doing. And I know people are really getting into cutting their own hair. I haven't been brave enough yet. So yeah, I'm not going to go there quite yet. But the paper flowers are incredible. So not only do they they're, you know, really nice and intricate to make, but they can make your house and your room really pretty as well. And can I ask also, same, where are you from?
I'm from Myanmar. It's in Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia. So when you're kind of doing cooking, I know that you like looking up at new recipes and stuff. Is there any sort of like traditional food from home that you like to cook and put some time and effort into?
Yeah, there's one, actually there's two. It's my mom's recipe, and it's kind of like traditional, but you can create your own as well. So there's one thing is it's a chicken tomato soup. So that's very easy, just chicken, tomato, and also just some potatoes. And then it's like a broth, I would say. So normally in Southeast Asia, we eat a lot of rice, but then I think in here, because it's kind of like soupy broth, you can eat with bread as well. So it's very easy, just as I said, chicken, tomato, potato, and then just some spices that you like, a salt or some soy sauce or some chili powder that you like, and it's you get a really nice broth to eat with. And also, I think in a couple of days it's been raining, so it's really good dish to have when the weather is cold. And also the other one is just fried noodles, just normal noodle, but you add some vegetable that you like. It doesn't have to be a specific vegetable. Any kinds of vegetable you like, so broccoli or some bean sprouts or whatever you like. So you can be creative while you're cooking as well. You can try different kinds of ingredients, and you come up with, oh, this is better than the other one. So yeah, so those are the things I've been cooking a lot as a traditional cuisine.
Oh, sounds absolutely delicious. So I could do with a second lunch now for sure. And just before I go across to Barnaby, Same, you kind of showed us some of your architecture models.
Yeah.
Do you mind just talking to us a little bit more about those? So obviously, you know, not being able to get into university, you've not got access to what you normally have. I'd be really interested to kind of, you know, for you to kind of let me know what those models are and why you kind of need to still continue creating them for your course.
Yeah, because I completely understand that it's hard to stay motivated to do work at this moment. For me as well, for the first week, I didn't know where to start. I was just like, what do I do now? I don't know. I have no idea where to start. So I start thinking about what do I enjoy doing in my course. So for me, I like doing models, and I like creating like like collages with pictures. So I have papers and scissors and glue at home. So I thought, oh, that would be a great start to get myself motivated again. So I kind of do like just simple paper, and just like some things that you have on your study table, just get them together and put them together, and you start creating art. And then you just realize, oh, that could be my design. That could be that could go into my my project. So from there, I got ideas. Oh, maybe I can start doing plan now. I can start doing president studies now. So I just pick up what I enjoy doing, and then that motivates me to keep working. So that's how I started doing models.
That's really good. I'm so pleased that you're finding a way to kind of stay engaged with your course, and that these models might still make it into your, projects and stuff. That's really good. So Barnaby, over to you. You've had a lot of time to think about this now. But yeah, what kind of things are you doing to stay creative at home?
Well, yeah, firstly, like I completely agree with Same. I think particularly in that first week when the university closed, I was like everyone else, like kind of, what do I do now? How do I even start? But then eventually you like do have to pick yourself up. For me, I kind of a way for me to get back into being creative was I wrote a short script. So there was a BBC submission call out looking for like instant responses to the whole current situation. So I thought, you know what, I may as well write something for it. And they actually ended up having over like 6,000 submissions, so it was kind of a bit silly. But the point is that it still forced me to actually make something and be creative, and it made me kind of passionate, and I was working really hard on it. And that's now something which I'm looking to actually make within lockdown. So the film that I made was set up like a Zoom call, so it could be filmed with 3 different actors in their separate bedrooms, and that's now a project which I want to do while we're in this situation, and also because it speaks to everyone understands it. It's not really like I should wait a year or two to make the work, because it's relevant right now. And then also, again, like I mentioned before, there's like day-to-day stuff. So like I said, for me, it was makeup. So with I had a little bit extra money from the day-to-day expenses of like being at uni. So for me, that was really good, because I was able to order some more things and try some more things out. And again, I actually, because for my course, I actually have to be creative as well. So I've had 2 modules in which I've actually had to create my own work. So one was almost like a presentation style, where I had one video which I managed to actually film in the space just before we went into lockdown, and then another one I kind of like edited using different photographs and kind of singing and using different sounds. And that's actually another thing. So within my work, but this I don't have to do it within your work, but I tend to take a lot of songs from like pop culture and things, but then completely change the lyrics to adapt to the narrative that I want to tell, or whatever I'm talking about. So a lot of my work is very gay, so I make these songs really gay. Recently I just used, I'm not sure if people know the song Freak, but I took that song and then put that in a completely queer context. So the song is about kind of being different and like being labeled kind of like a freak. But then that's something which, again, like you wouldn't have to do for any particular purpose. Like you may just enjoy singing. I've noticed a few people have uploaded onto Instagram and things. Have uploaded themselves kind of singing a song, and that's one of the really nice things about, like, a silver lining of the whole situation is, I feel like with social media we're beginning to see the different skills that everyone has, but maybe in their day-to-day lives they just kind of neglect or they don't have time for. Now everyone's turning to them.
Yeah, that's really, really true. This is a time to kind of harness and maybe just even discover skills that you never knew you had, or interests you never knew you had. And I love that you wrote a script, and it doesn't matter how many submissions the BBC had, the fact that you actually motivated yourself and took time to do that. And I think it's brilliant that you're going to pursue that and try and make it. It sounds like such an interesting concept. And as Jamie has said to me before, you know, artists and people who are creative, they draw from the current situations around them. You know, it's not separate. You are going to be influenced by what's going on, and hopefully create some really powerful art through that as well. Now, I'm really interested in hearing a little bit about what kind of different makeup routines and things that you've been experimenting with. Is there anything in particular, a particular look or a particular technique that you've discovered that's been really good fun?
Well, in general, mostly I've actually been trying to kind of get the basics right. Like I really want to, so I've ordered like a few different concealers and foundations and things. Like I really want to get those kind of things right, but particularly with like eyeshadow and trying different colors and like layering, and so like outside of lockdown, like me and my best friend would often like all the time we'd try stuff out together. But like now she'll call me and we'll just kind of have like a little evening doing it and trying stuff out, which is really nice. Like she teaches me everything. So but that's really nice. And like I think I mentioned before, it's like I know that I need a lot of development on them, and I'm not as good at the moment. But with like my eyebrows, like just learning how to pluck them and groom them. Like I think I've learned how to technically do that now, but it's actually the shaping which I'd like to in lockdown. I'd like to get that down.
Yeah, that's always the hardest bit, maintaining the shaping.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you look great, so keep doing whatever you're doing. And of course, not everybody considers themselves to be creative, and maybe not everybody feels like they need that as an outlet personally. But I know that a lot of people are probably missing like consuming art. So many people go to museums and theatre and even the cinema and stuff that they're probably really missing now. Jamie, did you kind of have any ideas of what sort of ways people can still stay connected and consume creative content online nowadays?
Well, I think a lot of galleries have got online collections that they make available to the public. So see the Tate's got them, the Royal Academy, so you can still see art. I mean, and I know that a lot of galleries are putting their exhibitions online. I've got a colleague of mine, Anna Lucas, who's just got an exhibition on the tintype, the gallery. They've got the exhibition online, and I think a lot of galleries actually are putting work online. So I'm sure that if you put in, put any kind of like website address into galleries, they'll have an online collection there that you can get to see without having to pay any money as well. So that's a lot of them are doing it for free.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know of certain galleries and stuff will use Instagram to kind of show you behind the scenes of some of their shows that they've already had, and share photos of some of the work that is on display that you can't see currently. And I don't know if you guys know, but our performing arts students themselves very recently, for their kind of final year project, they had to take what was a very physical show that they were going to put on and very quickly turn it into like a virtual show. So there's all kinds of stuff like that. They did all of their rehearsals through like online video chat, and then they very cleverly edited it together to look like kind of a live performance. So if people who are watching are into that kind of stuff, there's plenty of that going on, and people are getting really experimental now as well, which is great. So is there is there creative content that you've been enjoying yourself while you've been at home? Anything that you've been tapping into that's keeping you happy?
For me, I normally I follow a lot of I don't know how to describe it, social media pages, but especially on Twitter. So they have a great contest such as like an art in Asian or art in architecture. So they upload those kinds of beautiful pictures in different places, like Asian places. So that's one kind of thing I'm enjoying. And also, if you do want to go to see like a variety of artists, there's a very popular platform which is Pinterest, as everyone knows. So you can always go there, type it in, you can always see what kinds of art you want to see. And also there's one thing is I mentioned about the puzzles that I'm really enjoying, and so there's this website called Sporkle, and you can literally see whatever kinds of field that you're interested in, and you can kind of do quizzes and puzzles. So that's something that I'm really enjoying doing at home. And also for me, I play musical instruments, guitar as well. So I've always been wanted to learn how to play new songs, and this is my opportunity. I just go to YouTube. YouTube is one of the biggest channels that you can learn tutorials, and I just type in the song that I want to learn, and then I kind of practice them. So that's been something that I'm really enjoying at the moment.
That's fantastic. Plenty of ideas there, and it's great that you still get to do things that you enjoy and mean a lot to you. How about yourself, Barnaby?
In terms of content, well, obviously, kind of different like makeup tutorials and things are an obvious point. Of course, I love Soph Does Live. I watch a lot of her things and trying out different things, and then sometimes I like to try a few like hacks out myself, and then also. It's kind of arty, but I've been exercising a lot, and I'm not really the most sporty person. But then after I handed in an assessment a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of like, right, now I don't have any excuses not to exercise, not to sort my life out. But actually I do see that as quite an arty thing, because I kind of see that as almost like, with working out and things, I can almost see it as kind of slimming down, like almost like, I'm almost molding my body, which I think is really exciting. And then so of course I've watched a lot of. In doing that, I like to watch videos, like workout videos, with like timers, or do it like I just like to feel like I'm doing it with someone or I'm following an actual plan. But I've also been like going running and things as well. And then of course with like Netflix, because I don't know what I do without it. And I have some shows which I watch because I love the way they're edited and constructed. So like a little while back, I was watching The Politician, which I think is brilliant made. It's like a little bit melodramatic, but then it's brilliant. I think it's genuinely one of the best shows that I've ever seen. But then even just Too Hot to Handle, which has recently been on, I just love it. It's just so easy to watch. And then what's nice about that is that I feel like it's, unlike Love Island or some other shows, they have like workshops which are actually trying to help the people. They're not just trying to cause drama with everyone. And so I think, just continuing to watch things and stay entertained as best as you can. A lot of comedy I think is always good, especially if you're like, well, it's even just advice if you're going through like a breakup or something, but like even just stick on like a stand-up comedian or something, because laughter makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's definitely a good remedy. I like the show recommendations as well, and I know for myself, I've been watching a lot of Netflix and various, binge watching as people are calling it. But I think it's can equally be educational and can keep help to keep you sane. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And then with that, for example, if anyone's like into football, Sunderland Till I Die is just come on to Netflix, which again is a very arty show, even though it's about football. I love the way it's shot, and it's all about the place of Sunderland and the kind of poor working class community and how the football club supports them and how it's this almost beacon of hope. And I think like that's one of the few football shows where you could say, even if you're not into football, you'd enjoy it because of how artistically it's made.
Yes, I completely agree. I'm not really into football, but I've enjoyed watching that. It was you learn just so much about a community and the history and how football is, intertwined with the community. So yeah, absolutely. So I was going to ask you, and we've touched on this a bit, and I'll give you a bit of time to think about it, but just other things that you're doing to prioritize your mental health at home. It doesn't necessarily have to be linked to and creativity. So for me, for example, the creative side of what I like doing is I sew. I like to sew my own clothes in my free time at home, and that's what I've been doing outside of work to keep me sane. But the kind of day-to-day stuff that's really helped me, and I know it sounds really, really boring, but kind of Monday to Friday when I'm supposed to be working, I'll kind of stick to a routine, and that really helps me, waking up at a similar time, even if my meetings are starting later. Exercising, Barnaby, I'm like you, I've just really hit the exercise wagon quite hard, and it's not really to do with the kind of the outcomes, it's just the process of doing it, and it makes me feel good at the time. So that's been really good. And just again, really, really boring. But I find if I'm working in a messy environment, that doesn't help with my head. So I'm constantly like keeping things nice and tidy. I don't think my house has ever been this clean and tidy. So that definitely helps. And they're just really small things that I do that are kind of helping my mental well-being when I'm at home. Jamie, do you have anything like that you've been doing? Any tips and things that are keeping you well?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm definitely a bit on the scale, if you like. Okay, so I would say that I have. So I just. Sorry, let me just go back. A jay has just raided a robin's nest, just like looking to get baby robins out there. So I nearly had to leave the live stream nest and strangle the jay. But let me backtrack what I was going to say. A little bit on the scale. So I need to have like good routines around me, and things like that, and stuff that I know is going to happen. I mean, running. I go. Unfortunately, the first bit of the lockdown, I pulled my calf, so I couldn't go out. So it was like, but I've got other strategies. Like I said to you about knitting, I like to knit. So I've knitted an Aran jumper over this lockdown period. So that keeps me kind of occupied and stuff as well. But I'm really fortunate to have a lovely garden, so I can get out and do the garden. The weeds hate me, There's not a weed in it. Like you with the cleaning, it's like the weeds are just dead meat sort of thing. But no, the garden's looking really good. We've had great weather, so I'm fortunate being able to sort of like get out and stuff. So I think. Keeping hold of those kind of routines, keeping eating well. So nice cooking, like you're saying. I mean, you're saying about sauce. I made a lovely stir fry sauce for the first time ever last night, and baked some scones. I've never baked anything really, but scones is delicious. So, but I think one of the big things about this whole lockdown period is not putting too much pressure on yourself. And it's like just take things easy, really. Like have a few things or a couple of things that you want to achieve that day. Like a conversation with my partner. What you got on today? Got the live stream on today, so that's kind of like a thing that you aim to complete and do. I've been for a run as well, but just don't put pressure on yourself, and keep creative things going, and perhaps things that you've not done before. I think if you do things that you've not done before, then it gives you a new kind of direction or places to explore and things like that. What do you think, Maria?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's such a nice positive tone to kind of end the chat part of this session. Definitely, let's all be kind to ourselves. Don't put too much pressure on ourselves. I think we're all doing great. And just support each other and ourselves through this. I'm just conscious of the fact that we've probably only got about 15 minutes left. So it's a good idea to see if we've got any questions that some of our viewers would like to ask us. And we do. So we've got one question that's come in. How do you stay motivated to do your university work? I know we've touched a bit on it, but for anybody who wasn't watching, Barnaby, how are you staying motivated?
So one way in which I'm staying motivated is I'm shutting out. Like, I'm not watching the news every day because I can't worry about whether we're coming out of lockdown within 3 weeks or however long. And then one way in which I'm actually keeping motivated is just by, like Jamie said, not putting too much pressure on myself and just trying to achieve little things. So, for example, I'm making like a YouTube commentary style video on Piers Morgan as part of my dissertation, and I started that a few days ago. But all I did was I filmed a little bit of I wrote notes on the video on one day. When I next came back to it, I filmed as much as I could, but I didn't put too much pressure on myself to finish the video. This morning before I came on call, I started editing it, and now I've started editing it. I know kind of the things I want to add to it, so I can go back to it, but just allowing myself that kind of natural time to, no, I don't have to complete it in one day. I can just think about it, like Jamie said, surprise yourself, think about it from a different angle, and allow yourself to, someone gave some really good advice, which was, I've forgotten the advice. It was really good advice though, and it's going to come back in a second, and I can't remember what I was saying now. But the other thing I was going to say,
I get those moments a lot. It'll come back.
The other thing I was going to say was another way in which I'm staying motivated is through calling people, calling my friends, reaching out to people. We're all in lockdown. We all have time, and so I'm trying to support people and reach out as much as I can. Just make sure everyone's okay.
That's really lovely. So you're looking out for each other as well. That's a really important one. How about you, Sam? How are you staying motivated to do your work?
For me, I just generally set routine. I think that's really important and helpful for me. So I start to make a routine for myself, like I'm gonna have a good wake up and then have some meal, and then I'm gonna start doing some work. Sometimes when I can't do work, I try to get inspiration by looking at the other people work, because sometimes you do get block out, like you don't know where to start or what to do, so you just look at some other people, like a president study, trying to do that. And then there's one thing that I find really motivating is achieving like a rewarding yourself. So for me, sometimes I do nothing, just doing whatever, like hobbies and stuff like that, but I do not touch my university work. So I try to motivate myself. I have to do this, I have to do university work, and then I kind of put that reward at the end of the day. So like if I do this much university work, at the end of the day, I'm gonna get myself some skincare, or I'm gonna allow myself to watch this movie. So like rewarding myself is also, I think, is really motivating me. And also I think good health as well is really important. So I trying to eat healthy and then do some exercises, like a workout routine, stuff like. So they are also helping me to stay motivated, to be active, and then to be in good health and to do my university work.
You know, I was going to say something else about, I forgot to mention it before, but these are historic times that we're going through, and I'm talking about sketchbooks and keeping sketchbooks and notebooks and things like that going. But it was, I was sorting my studio out in the week, and I come across some old sketchbooks that I hadn't looked at for years. You know, I must have been like 18 when I was doing them. And there was a picture of my granddad, who was not very well at that time. He was dying, and I think that kind of looking back at those kind of drawings that he was doing, or photographs, or whatever it is, it takes you right back to the times. And I think these are unprecedented times, and I know that it's going to be the content for a lot of students to go out in the future. So I think keep your sketchbooks going, keep your journal going, because these are kind of very special times. And it's good to have that kind of, even if it's drawings or scraps or bits and bobs, and maybe even like just clips off videos that you've seen and things like that. Save them, stash them up as a kind of like thing for this time that we can look back on, and might be sources of inspiration for the future as well. And like I said, bet you any money that a lot of students will have the kind of stuff that all this lockdown, the social distancing, the way that we work towards each other, the way that we think about each other, it's going to be absolutely there in terms of students' work, whether you're doing architecture or drama or fine art or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, spot on. Thank you. We've got a few questions coming in as well, just a little bit more general. So, what kind of opportunities are there outside of the classroom? So, Barnaby, are there kind of, I don't know, club societies that you're involved with? Any other extracurricular that DMU is particularly good for?
I think one good thing, I can't speak for all the courses, but for drama, the lecturers really care about us and they've been checking up on us. So we've been having like kind of group call sessions with our class and stuff, but also kind of one-on-ones. And my lecturer's been incredibly helpful for my entire situation. And she's like she changed the assessment for me and looked at ways in which where I couldn't do something. She looked at changing it so that I could. And then I think with extracurricular things, it's hard. I say it might be better to talk to about that. I just know that, like, of course, the university has been providing like the daily updates on the whole situation and their advice, and all their emails. Like there's lots of, even just like this, what's going on right now. And I saw there's been emails about like the careers team are still doing events in other ways. So there's definitely lots of things out there. And in the same way with volunteering, I think there's, at first, of course, it had to shut down. But I think there's ways in which the university are trying to keep that going.
And obviously these are extenuating circumstances, but when things are, it's more, I guess, giving people an idea of when things are kind of a bit more normal. You guys get to work closely with Curve, which is an amazing theatre in Leicester. So yeah, drama and performing arts students get to do that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? I know it's not going ahead in the same way that it was going to this year, but
a bit like you mentioned with the performing arts students, we are trying to now we're thinking about changing it into a radio play, so it's something which we could all record separately and then edit and bring together. Maybe with potentially there could be some images or some video where you do see something physical at parts, but we're looking a lot more now at writing our own narration, and editing this, because of course the script is written to be seen on stage. So it's not just like, oh, let's just read the lines. Like we actually creatively we're having to take ownership of it and edit it in new ways, write new sections for it, kind of rethink about some of the casting, because obviously it would be kind of silly to drop loads of narration on one person. But what's really good is that the university is, like I say, finding different ways in which they can assess us, but taking into account like all of our own circumstances. But then with the show, we hope that and Curve are trying to reschedule that, so hopefully it may still get to be seen on stage in the summer or after.
Oh, fantastic! And has it been a valuable experience getting the chance to work with the directors and people at Curve Theatre, even in this kind of slightly altered way?
Yeah, of course. We're quite lucky because we've already had 2 intensive weeks on this, and in that they were the same hours that a professional actor would have. So we were doing 10 till 5 every day. I think that's just really good because it develops it's really a small thing, but it develops your stamina and your mental stamina to be able to focus on kind of a production and your role and just staying professional and staying disciplined. And then, of course, you also meet all the different people that are working at Curve and make those different connections. For me, it's been really good because I did a placement there the previous summer. So I kind of already had some connections, and then I'm kind of go and you meet people again, and you're just getting yourself into that artistic space. I think it's really important. You put yourself in those spaces, and then you never know what could come from there.
Fantastic. And same, how about yourself in terms of opportunities outside of the classroom? I don't know if you've ever had a chance to go on a DMU global trip or anything else that you've experienced that people might be interested.
Yes, so I could say myself, I'm a very active student. I involved in lots and lots of opportunity in DMU, and that's one of the reasons I came to DMU, because they have a variety of experience to get experience, and DMU Global is one of my favorite things. So far I've been to 3 DMU Global trips, like Amsterdam, India, and Berlin. So though has been a great experience to go outside of the UK, and then you can experience other culture and to get to know the other countries. If there is somewhere that you haven't been, that's like a reward for yourself. And also DMU have funding for that as well, so which is a really good opportunity for all the students which can involved in. And other than that, enjoying doing it is volunteering. As in DMU you can volunteer in so many things, such as and not only with the art and craft things, but for myself, I've been volunteering in so many projects. So one of the projects is with architecture. So I got to design for the local community, and which is I got to work with some other students in architecture, and then we go to take a visit to the site in Leicester. So that kind of experience I got. And also other opportunity that I enjoy doing is languages. In DMU, you can learn languages for free. So I've been doing that since I got to GMU. So in my first year, I learned French, and in my second year and third year, I learned Mandarin, and I keep doing that for now, like online learning. So those kinds of things are very great experience, because I feel like when you're going to university, it's not only about your course, but also to get to know what can you do and what kinds of talent and skill that you can study for yourself. And so those things I enjoy doing. And also one other favorite thing about DMU is the opportunity is a mentoring. So there are different kinds of mentoring in DMU. So for myself, I've been in 2 kinds of mentoring opportunities. So the first thing is I joined the Leicester School, it's the Leicester School Architecture Mentoring. So you get a chance to take a visit to architecture offices, and the architect help you to get an idea of what it's like to be working as an architect. So that kinds of opportunities. There's so many things that I didn't mention here, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of opportunities, and that has been a great experience for me so far.
That is amazing to hear, Sam. I'm so happy that you're fully getting involved and getting a lot out of it. So we've got to wrap up really soon, but just before we do that, I wanted to just ask Barnaby and Sam, what is your top favorite thing about Leicester? So Barnaby, what's your favorite thing about living in Leicester?
I'm gonna say that we have a few different golf bars, so bars where you can go to, but you can also play mini golf and things, which I think are really cool, and they're great for those Instagram photos. When I went, I definitely took advantage of that. Yeah.
I love it. It's all about the gram.
Yeah.
How about you, Sam? What's your favorite thing about living in Leicester?
For me, that would be the diversity of Leicester, because as I mentioned a lot that I love cooking, and then whenever I want to try new cuisine, whenever I need some ingredients, because of the diversity of Leicester, I can just go to local supermarket, like Chinese supermarket, Korean supermarket, or European supermarket to try cooking new cuisine. And also there's this road in Leicester called Narrow Road, which is the most diverse road in UK. And so that diversity helped me to enjoy new things. Like for me is cooking. So that's the diversity that I love about. You can learn lots of culture, and you get to know with lots of people from around the world, different places. It's really great thing to get to know.
I'm so pleased. That's definitely one of the things we're most proud about at DMU, how diverse DMU and Leicester is, and I'm happy to hear that reflects in your experiences as well. So thank the 3 of you so much for joining me today, and to everybody else who's been watching. Thank you for tuning in. And for sending in your questions. We really hope you enjoyed the session today. If we didn't manage to answer your questions live, we will be coming back to you in private messages on social media, so we'll be getting answers to you. If you want to chat with other future DMU students and just find out a little bit more about coming to DMU, you can join our Applying to DMU 2020 Facebook group. There's more than 3,000 students in there, so you'll definitely be in good company. So join that group to chat and connect with people. We really hope that you enjoyed joining us today for this session. We're going to be running quite a few more of these in weeks to come, so please stay tuned for those. And yeah, we hope we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.